We kicked off in earnest last fall at our meeting in Houston with the group. One of the things that we learned while we were talking about analytics was that there are three big problems when you're looking at the data. One is that the integration is hard from all the different components on the system. There's a performance issue. We don't want to be hitting the operational database when we want to get data out of it on demand. And there needs to be some sort of system that has a level of agility to it. If anybody's done any sort of data warehousing before, you realize the first output of giving anybody data is 100 more questions back to you. So the main thing is that anything that we design needs to be flexible and needs to be able to take requests for data, go back and tweak reports and get that data back out of the system. So from a solution perspective here, we're releasing a new reporting framework, which is basically the report designer, a graphical reporting view into the data, report repository, and a job scheduler. This will be in the core platform, and this will help run all the reports. You can use the graphical reporting tool to point at the existing reports that you have, which are more text-based and table-based, and look at those in new ways. You can run operational reports off of it. But the interesting thing that we're also adding is an analytics foundation, which is really an ETL process or a tool that extracts all the data from the operational database, puts it in a star schema, which means that the data is in a much more easy-to-use format for reporting purposes, and a lot of pre-aggregations done on it to do pre-calculations to make the data ready to consume. And from that point forward, you can use the report designer and the report framework to come up with some really interesting drill downs into it, both from an operational perspective or a business process perspective or just from a data modeling perspective. It's meant to build with a lot of flexibility for all those questions that are come up as you start poking into the data itself. It's also the foundation for a lot of exciting applications that we want to release over the next couple years. There's anything from load profiling, theft detection, network loss, rate modeling. These are the types of applications that need insight into the data, and this is really meant to be the building block for all of that. So one of the first things we heard from the user advisory board was, and I really want to see more operational dashboard type stuff of what's going on with the system, and that's the first order of business that we're looking at here. So one of the things we'll be able to do is just a very easy to read daily meter read summary to see how the system's performing, give you some insight, a nice dashboard to glance at to see where things are. In this example here, we're seeing a daily meter read summary, and this is a count of all the meters that aren't reporting. As you can see here, as the week wore on, we started to see a problem here. The main thing that we wanted to implement with this is the ability to drill down into these reports and see what's actually happening. So I'm going to drill down into this day here and look at what's happening. Clearly, the types of events coming in for the meters, there's a spike here on programming events. And so that looks a little odd. I want to drill down into that. And what I see here is that looks like there was a firmware upgrade here on May 6th for all of these meters that are not reporting and reported programming events. So this is the type of troubleshooting that we want to enable with the new reporting platform, really showing the dashboard and being able to drill down and make sense of the data, unlocking the power of that data so you can be more operationally efficient. And then there are the product management team. There's the product management team that I lead. All of us are here at the session. Grab any of us and say, let us know what you want to know more about, and we'll sit down with you. We're really excited to show you. This is just a taster of it, with our capabilities. The analytics piece of this is coming out this December. So we're really excited to get it in front of people and get feedback now so we can make any tweaks or changes to it, talk about the types of reports that you're going to want, make sure the system's flexible so that if we're not necessarily delivering them as sample reports in 7.5, that the system's actually capable of you going in and creating the stuff that you need yourself. So please grab any of us and ask us your questions, and that is all for me.